When children get bored, they go to their parents and ask, "Mom, Dad, what can I do?" And the response they usually get is, "Why don't you go watch TV or something?" According to my audience analysis, all of you work with students or children in some way. For example, you are a teacher, work at a daycare, or have younger brothers and sisters. For me, I have 3 nieces of my own, and I babysit them all the time. And someday, I want to have children. Because of that, I have been researching the effects that television time has on children. According to Janice Graham in Working Mothers, she says that kids who watch too much television don't read as well, don't have as many friends, don't have as many hobbies, and are more likely to have high cholesterol and to gain weight. Today, I will try to persuade you to limit the television time that you have, that the children around you have, because of 3 things. 1, because violence, television affects children and makes them more violent. 2, because of other negative effects like negative social skills and obesity. And 3, I will tell you about how parents can help their children and make them less likely to have all these negative effects. First, let's talk about violence. According to the Mayo Clinic, too much exposure to violence on TV and in movies can desensitize a child. As a result, children may learn to accept violence as normal behavior and learn as a normal part of life and a way to solve problems. They go on to say that children who watch an excessive amount of TV are more likely to bully children than who don't watch as much TV. It is recommended that a child only watch 2 hours of television a day. Any more than this can lead to bullying behavior. Television is a great way for children to learn behavioral options, good or bad. James Graham explains, kids who watch violent, reality-based television programs were more likely to lie, steal, and show explosive anger and act out in other negative ways. Television camouflages the violence, flying under the radar, influencing young children, and making violence seem socially acceptable. Jean Cook agrees that television has gotten more violent over the years. She says, during the Western period, we did not see as much blood, guts, and death we see today. Now that I've taught you about violence, let's talk about the other negative effects that television has on children. There are 4 major negative effects that television causes. First, obesity is a growing problem in America because of television. Children sit on the couch all day watching way more than 2 hours of television, sometimes up to 5 or 6, and not getting the activity that they are supposed to get. These children are more likely to turn away friends or creative play, like crafts and art. Next, Lisa Bornsey, author of Into the Minds of Babes, How Screen Time Affects Children from Birth to Age 5, says that in some cases, television causes children to have difficulty concentrating, being impulsive, and having attention problems. Disorders like attention deficit disorder and ADHD are more likely to be caused because of television, but this is only in extreme cases. It is observed by the University of Kentucky, printed in Guernsey's book, that when television viewing time went up, so did the attention problems. She adds, the 2 were correlated. The more television a child watched, the more likely the child would be described as having problems when they got older. As you see to my right, I have a graph, and this says exactly what Bornsey was talking about. If you notice, when a child starts watching television at 0 to 36 months, they are 3 times as more likely to be violent than a child who doesn't watch as much TV. Another problem is irregular sleep patterns in children. When children have televisions in their room, they are more likely to watch the television instead of going to bed on time. And this causes them to be extremely tired and not productive in the next day. The more TV a child watches, the more likely they are to resist going to bed and to have trouble sleeping, says the Mayo Clinic. And lastly, children who watch too much television are more likely to do worse on the academic side of things than children who don't watch as much TV. In Judith Page Van Everest's book, Television and Child Development, a study was done assigning 8th grade children homework and playing 3 things in the background: a musical program, a soap opera, and no program at all. The results said that the homework was only impeded when the soap opera was playing in the background. The dramatic television show sucked the child in, making them a zombie, and they weren't paying attention to what their homework had. If this continues every day, how do you expect a child to succeed in school? Now that I've taught you about the other 4 main effects, let's talk about how parents can prevent this in their children. There are a couple ways that you can do this. First, you need to set summer day rules and school day rules for television. Aaron Law says that depending on the time of day and the time of year, he'll let his children watch a certain amount of television. He says that during the wintertime, his children can watch 2 hours of television a day, and that's because it's cold and they can't go outside. The rest of the day, they should spend inside helping their mother do chores or doing their homework. In the summertime, he says that they can watch 1 to 2 hours, depending on the weather. He says the rest of the time of the day, they should go outside and play and have creative fun. Next, you should avoid eating in front of the television. Eating in front of the TV encourages mindless snacking, and this could cause weight gain in our youth. Plus, the child development skills are best developed when sitting around a table talking to their family. Having a television there takes the attention away and doesn't let them be interactive. Lastly, you should be an active participant in your child's TV viewing time. You should preview the program before your child views it, seeing what it has to offer, whether it is good or bad. You should also plan family viewing time. This helps your child and makes it a fun way to get your family together. Lastly, you should talk to your child about what the television had to offer, like what were the lessons, if there were violence, why that wasn't a good thing, and other things like that. Overall, I've taught you how television is bad and how you should limit it for your child. First, I told you how violence comes through your television and into your child. Second, I told you about the other 4 main factors of television that affects children in a negative way. Lastly, I told you how parents can help this and take that into consideration and help their children. Now I hope you reach out to the children around you and help them and lessen that out. If you think an evening of television is fine, you might want to think again.